This is To Wit, a podcast
Hey, wait.
for
I made MVP. I made MVP. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
for women in tech doing life. I'm Christy Guzman,
And I'm Melinda Smith. Whoop, whoop.
the queen of interrupting, but for a wonderful, wonderful reason.
Oh my God, I'm so excited. It's
Hey,
so awesome.
congratulations.
Thank you. Very, very happy, excited to be part of the community even more, and looking forward to the logo on my photo and all the silly stuff that comes with it. I'm so excited.
You are amongst a wonderful gang of people, which was 210. So I haven't counted. Somebody's probably counted. I'll have to ask. But we've got some other great names in for their first time, too, including
Yeah.
John Graff, who we previously
Yep.
co hosted with from Nerd Force.
So I wanted to talk about it a little bit because where I was 2 years ago and where people have been and someone I've chatted with kind of wanted to know how, you get there and what that means.
Yeah.
But before, let's do our little get to know you.
Ooh, getting to know you. So, what embarrasses you the most in front of other people?
So when you posed this question to me earlier this week, my first thing to go with was I hate being made to feel stupid. But like who doesn't? Like who doesn't freak out? But it doesn't embarrass me as so much as makes me go from super light and bright to like bitchy, like angry person. So really that's not it.
I feel like
I,
that was the announcer at a truck show that just came out right there. Sorry.
Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
Continue.
Super bitchy. Just add water. I think it's when I love self-deprecating humor. I feel like it helps put you on the same level playing field, and it's easy to kind of make a joke about yourself if you're trying to open the door for a topic or make it easier for someone to talk, which I do all the time. But I get embarrassed when someone takes it seriously and then like tries to like talk me off a ledge. And I'm like,
Mm.
no, 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 it's not like that. And then I end up backwards talking and then it sounds like I'm lying. Like, no, I didn't really mean that. Well, then why did you say that? And it doesn't happen all the time, but it happened like at a WIT group, a new member, and I made some joke and she's like, no, 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 don't do that to yourself. And I was like, no, no, wait, no. And it just went awry. And then I feel embarrassed because it sounds like I'm a bullshitter or I'm not being authentic in the situation. And it's really not. It's more me kind of joking or downplaying me. So it opens the floor for someone else to be like, oh, I don't feel so silly to share my experience because she shared hers and she's being silly. So I think that's the most embarrasses me because when I try and explain myself, it just goes terrible.
I feel like
Terrible.
you went pretty deep there. I was thinking like I hate it when there's something in my teeth and like no one has told me all night long and it's like a chunk that came from like pepper at dinner or something. And you're
Because the
like,
people around you clearly don't love you or someone would tell you.
right? Although I will say, I feel like teeth in general, I need to get whitening, but like, I actually have fake fronts of my teeth, and a fake corner because of an incident in childhood. So I would have to like get them whitened and then get like the fronts redone. So it's just like more of a process than like white strips. And so I put it off for forever and money and life and time but
Expensive.
sometimes I do look at pictures and I'm like, that annoys me. So
Yeah, I
I don't
have
know how
a
that went into
me
like
too though.
my insecurity, but I
Well,
guess it's not like it embarrasses me. Like I stay home and cover my mouth when I speak or anything, but it is one of those things when I'm like, I don't think about it all the time, but then I do, and then I'm like, oh,
Yeah, I have a lot of dental work that I've had done and Invisalign and gum realignment and bridges and I have a veneer and blah 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 blah. So I get it.
you got it
Like
all,
teething is a big deal to me. And like the whitening, man, it kind of sucks because if you do like the strips, you have to do them for like a week and they make your teeth like crazy sensitive and you have moments where you just get sharp pains where you're like, ah, for no good reason.
For the beauty is pain reason.
Right?
Um,
Anyways, I
so
digress.
we digress as we do.
Well, yeah.
We digress. So MVP I got re-awarded, which is one fun fact, yay, about the program. So it's not a lifetime appointment. You got to earn it. So you want to talk a little bit about?
I do. So I remember 2 years ago, I came home from Dreamforce and I was like, I really, really want to be part of that community. How do I give back? What do I do more? And I actually reached out to Brian Kwong and I was like, hey, do you have time for a call? And I think we did like a Google Hangout or whatever. And he said, here's kind of the things that they're looking for. Their program is looking for someone giving back to the community. And if you have time to blog or anything along those lines. And he was so helpful. He was so forthright and not at all like, this is the club I'm in. It was like, absolutely, here's what we do. It felt very inclusive. So from that moment on, I thought about what I can do and how I can give back. And then you kind of fade into well, that's a lot to think about. I also have normal life, and you just do whatever you can. Like, you love the community, you give back. But I guess it was important for me to kind of point out that you don't have to write a blog. You don't have to do a podcast. You don't have to be number one in the answers community to give back and be a part of the community. And even though making a VP, I'm so proud of, and not everyone gets to, anyone should still strive to be a part of it. And you can still be inclusive. It's not an exclusive club. Like, I feel like that's the exact opposite of what Salesforce and the community is all about.
Yeah. And I think the key thing, the mentality shift that happened for me a few years ago was not thinking of what can I do to be MVP. It's more the things that you would do anyway that put you kind of on the radar there, because otherwise, like I mentioned, you get renewed every year. So, there's no campaigning you can do, any inauthentic effort is going to make itself pretty apparent. So I think the key is to find, and Sam Safin just did a great article or blog about this.
Oh my God, so good.
About, you have to find the way that you can give back, because there are so many other things. The world is different than when we started many, many years ago. And there was 2 people answering things and 1 blog, so there's a lot of podcasts now too. There's a lot of variety. So, but, we didn't let that stop us from trying a new thing that seems to be working. And so, as long as people want to keep on keeping on, then hopefully that helps someone who then, making an impact to that one person, then, it advances twofold. So that is really what I think is key, is making sure that you're finding an authentic way to give back, not doing it for the sake of earning a quote unquote prize.
Right. And we have talked about this before, that it's okay to have that as a goal. Like, heck yeah, I want to be part of that club, but that can't be like the only thing. But it can be. Like, gosh, I would say a year and a half or more ago, man, should I name names? I'm not going to, because I feel like it would call someone out in a bad way. Someone had said in Twitter, I'd really like to be part of the community. And there were a couple people that were like, that's not it. That's not the goal. You shouldn't be the goal. And a couple of us were like, well, that's okay that that's the goal. It's okay that you want to do that. Like, hey, that's the goal. What do I need to do to get there? Oh, give back. I was going to do it anyway. So I feel like it's okay to say that. I think it's
more that it's the result, not that it's
totally
like that's the outcome that you want, but not that it's like, and maybe that's just semantics, but I think I think it's more about focus, right? And like you said, life happens, right? We all have wonderful intentions sometimes, but to have it be a motivating reason to continue to do the thing, I think can be effective, right? Not, again, for the sake of doing it just because of that. So,
and like you said about Sam's post, the part I loved most about it in there was like, yeah, it's already been done. I'm telling you right now, it's been done. But do your thing, stay the course, and I'm giving you permission to go ahead. Well, I just love that.
And this is also a wonderful segue to talk about our guest today, because I think, like you said, it's very inclusive. And we're going to talk to Kelly Bentubo, who Yay! Up until just recently was the user group leader in Charlotte, who was very supportive of me as I was getting out of my consulting job, so I had more time and getting back into giving in the community, and just wonderfully supportive of all those things, as opposed to, like you say, kind of, this is my club, you can't come in. It's very, if you want in, let's do this, work at it, and we'll get there. So if you haven't met Kelly, you should. She is 7 times certified, so she's kicking my butt for sure.
Yeah,
admin.
me too.
Like I said, she recently just left Charlotte to Wisconsin, so I'm sure we'll hear more about that.
Oh.
She's a multi-Dreamforce presenter, user group leader, blogger, also a fellow swag-aholic, slash crafter. She has actually pretty decent crafting intentions that result in things. So sometimes I have good ideas, but maybe not
doer.
always the actual results of things. So let's jump in and chat with Mrs. Bentubo.
Let's do it.
Hi, Kelly.
Hello.
How are you doing?
Welcome to the podcast.
I'm super excited to be here.
Is this
I
your
have been
first
listening
ever
to you guys.
podcasting experience?
It is my first podcasting experience.
Yay!
I mean, you have to start at the top, so I figured I start with you ladies.
That's
Oh,
right.
thank you.
Start at the top. I like it.
Yeah.
I like that.
Set the
you
bar
just-
high.
That's right. Man, I just feel better already. No. So I obviously have known you for a while. I introduced you a little bit. Any special fun facts that maybe I don't know that people should know about you?
Oh gosh. Well, I know you guys keep it real on this podcast, so I'll keep it real. I would just say, for anyone who doesn't know me, I mean, Melinda and I, we go way back now to karaoke Dreamforce. I would say I'm directionally challenged. I'm accident prone, sarcastic, admin, obsessed with Salesforce, crafting, anything swag related. That pretty much sums me up. I'm pretty much an open book. Like, what you see is what you get.
I did talk a little bit about how you're somewhat more of a successful Salesforce crafter than me, except I have never seen a t-shirt happen yet, so that's...
I should add lazy crafter there. I have big dreams, but implementation gets a little dicey.
I love that you still are committed, both of you, because I will tell you in the last year, what I have given away is my entire box of beading and jewelry stuff. And then when we moved back to Colorado, all of the scrapbooking stuff. Because I'm like, look, I keep moving this, and my intentions, I don't even get it out anymore. It's just in a box. So I give it to somebody else that will, I don't know, use it or put it in their box.
Wait, but this is my biggest question for you, and this is my favorite. Have you ever found that you have the exact same thing that you've bought like multiple times?
Oh, yeah.
Repeatedly. 100%.
Drives me crazy.
Stickers, I was doing scrapbooking, like, I was like, oh my God, I love this. And I would have 4 pages of it already. Like, clearly I love it. Now, I don't know if you're a scrapbooker. Did you hoard stickers?
I am, and I did / do. So I've been like living through your experience because I recently moved too. And so I had to go through like everything I've ever owned and kind of have like, as you guys said, like the purge. And yeah, you kind of have to like spread it all around to see what you have to even build something, I think. You know what I mean? Like you kind of don't know unless you see it all. But it's a lot.
See, except when I move, I feel like I have wonderful intentions to do the purge, and then I get into oh shit mode, and I shove things in boxes that then, now that I have a garage, are like out of sight, out of mind.
Yep.
But I don't want to just throw them away. But
No, that's good.
But
you'll get to it eventually.
My version costs us money because I purge, and 2 things happened in the first week here. My husband says, hey, where's that thing on the counter? And I was like, I threw it away. He says, oh, I liked that. My mom comes to visit a week later. Hey, where's the da-da-da? I said, I threw it away. She said, oh, I like that. And I said, well, just so we know, in the Smith household, if you like it, I'm going to toss it.
Yeah.
Just FYI.
If you like it, please label it.
Right. Put a colored disc on it or a colored sticker because the shit is gone.
I like it. So
I'm...
How is Wisconsin so far?
Yes. How's the move?
Oh God. I mean, so again, a real chat, right? It's this is going to sound actually like sort of sad, but stick with me because it's not that bad. But I'm like the middle of nowhere. And so now that I'm remote and work from home, like I just see myself all day and that's it. And
Get
so,
a dog.
yeah, I mean, something's going to happen. It's not too bad. I mean, the cheesy part is like with our community, like I feel like there's so many people I can look forward to seeing at events and like connect on Success or Twitter. So like I don't feel completely alone. But like we just had a big winter storm again. And like all day, all I hear is beep, 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 like trucks like cleaning the snow. And I'm like, if I hear that flipping sound one more time, like I'm going to like just lose my mind. So I've been like cranking the music up and just
take a shot.
Going crazy. Yeah.
Every time you
I might die. You don't know how
For the
long I hear this all
record,
day.
if you go to rehab, not my fault.
Yeah. I mean, that could decline very quickly. So
yeah, 100%.
Did you ever
I'd
hear
have to be careful.
the Dane Cook sketch about making up a song to the sound of a car alarm?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Hello,
I need to.
I'm a car.
Yeah.
Oil is my blood. Anyway, sorry.
You need to get me a link to that because
Make up some kind
I
of
can
beat.
relate.
Put it in the show notes. Oh my God, I'm dying.
Yes.
I did my best.
That was a throwback.
So aside from that, it's awesome. But I miss you. You know, I miss Charlotte, and you were talking about how great the weather was, and I was like raging at you, going, oh, "It's like -20 here."
Man, yeah, I mean, I got a sunburn on Saturday. Sorry.
It's okay. Okay.
So, in an effort to distract you from the looks that you're both giving me right now, tell me how you ended up studying communication, advertising, and art history in Boston to Salesforcing in Charlotte.
I mean, I think the short version of that story would be like I was hired to do something marketing related. I always loved to do like crafting, like I said, right? Mm-hmm. So Photoshop, Illustrator, all that kind of fun stuff from like just, I don't know, messing around and having fun with it. And someone said, hey, will you do like this other job marketing? And said, would you take on this thing called Salesforce? Like they didn't know anything about it. And I went, well, sure, I don't care. And then I started like finding out more and more that it could do. And then I went, it was like that, you know, you kept having that moment like, oh my God, did you know it could do this? And oh my God, did you know it could do that? And so, yeah, it's pure accident. I mean,
but how did you find that out?
My career.
But you skipped over, like, how did you find that out? Did you have a mentor, the community, or Trailhead? Like, yes, those are aha moments, but how did you get there?
So I'm going to date myself and say this was before any of those awesome things existed. And so my friend, help in training, and Google were like my only sources. And so, yeah, it took a long time. I mean, there wasn't all these like now, God, I want to learn something new. I just go, oh, is there like a Trailhead for that? Or a course that I can do? And so, yeah, there's so much more out there now. I feel like if you sign up for Salesforce like today, you're already leaps and bounds about, you know, where I was when I first got going. But that's also why like I got involved with user groups because you kind of go, okay, that was really painful. Like, can I save somebody else from that, you know? So, and that's how Christy and I met, actually. So shout out to your Habitat for Humanity. I met Christy on one of my first ones that we did for the group.
Yeah, so how was it just kind of like, hey, they started these user groups and I don't have one, so I will start one because I like people? That's kind of how I started mine.
Yeah, we had someone else that was running one in Charlotte, but I went to a meeting and I won't say names, but someone that was hosting at the time, it was really just you had a partner come in and they talked at you for an hour. And I went, okay, like even what he was like peddling, you know, his product had no use for me. And I went, oh, that's terrible. And then they only met like once a quarter. And so that was like the one meeting. And then their company moved to like developing their own CRM. And so they kind of put it out to the group of like, who wants to take this over? And I had all these ideas. And so she basically tapped me. And then I had been doing that since, oh my gosh, 2000, end of 2006 into 2007. And now recently with my move, I had to pass it off. So that was a little hard. So Melinda, I relate to you on the,
right?
You pass the baton and you're kind of like, okay, even if it's going to a good place, like you helped cultivate that baby and you want it to be safe and grow. And continue on. So.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, 100%. Like it is good to pass the baton and give someone else a chance to grow and be a part of the community, but it is hard. It's hard to let go of something that was, girly geeks back in the day. So like I totally get it.
Well, and I think an important thing about what you kind of just mentioned to me is even if you had a bad experience, and I sort of had this with meetups/dating when I was living in Boston, even if you had a bad experience, don't let that jade you against the entire experience, right? Because everyone has an off day, right? So
Sure.
maybe you did go to a meeting and it was kind of dry, or you didn't really meet anybody, but maybe the next time you go, or maybe 3 times from now you go, right? So I think it's tough to continue to try to put yourself out there sometimes when you're not getting that reward. But I think if anyone is sitting there thinking, user group, then maybe the answer is helping plan the kind of events that you want and co-leading if that's what drives you, or starting a women in tech group or a different kind of a nonprofit group if there isn't one, or, whatever kind of motivates you to, because maybe there's other people out there that also don't like it or something, that you could still connect with.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Don't give up.
Message. Yeah.
You both may not know this. I do like to go to meetings and I do like strangers, but it's a lot of pressure. And I'm literally always looking for a reason to be like, nope, never doing this again. Kind of also my thoughts on therapy. We'll get back to that later. I will go. And if you give me one little reason for it to suck, I'll be like, see, I don't want to be here. But you're right. Like, don't cut them off. If it's not a user group, find a WIC group, like you said, or find a nonprofit, because one bad meeting, like trust me, we've all hosted one bad meeting. I hope we're not all judged on our one bad meeting. Keep finding them.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, really great message. And you kind of hit on it too, of if it's not what you're looking for, like create it yourself, and I feel like there's so much more out there now for people to do that. And I know like leading a group, it is exhausting, and there's so much to plan and coordinate, and then you have like your real job and life and stuff gets in the way. And so I think like go to that leader and say, hey, here's my idea, can I help do it? I mean, Christy, like between Philip, yourself, and me, like I would like send out an email like, oh gosh, guys, I have nothing for this month, and like one of them would help pitch in. We would have loved for someone to say, hey, I've got a meeting idea, I'd like to run with it. And I would have been like, what budget do you need? Like, make it happen. So
right, here's all my money. Just do it.
Yeah.
So if people don't know, like, why did you move? Are you with the same company? How did that work out? What are you doing now?
So I kind of have this fascinating story. My joke with the group was that I was like the Katy Perry of moves. Like I was a yes and a no and an in and an out and like maybe not. And so for about, 3-4 months, it kind of went on. My husband had a really great opportunity. And while he was interviewing, like some other stuff started to hit, and they were all in different locations. And so I had started a process. I thought I was going to be moving to Detroit, started a process with a really awesome company there. And then it was, okay, we're not moving to Detroit. And so I reached back out to them and I said, oh, stop, like we're not moving. Like, we hadn't gotten too far in the process. And I got fortunate in that they reached back out to me and said, would you consider being remote? We've got offices all over the place and some people that are remote. And I knew it was the right choice for me because I had felt so disappointed when I had to tell them that I wasn't going to be moving there. And that kind of gave me the answer that I needed.
Totally.
So, I took the chance. I said, hey, I've never been a remote employee. Let's go for it. And so I did.
Do you have any, this is a leading question. I'm pretty sure a lawyer would tell me to shut up. Do you have any fears about being a remote employee?
I did. So, obviously, I think there's a couple, right? So it's, you're remote. Are you going to feel connected with people? They do a ton of video conferencing, and I would have felt differently about it if everybody in the whole company was in one location and I was the only one that was remote. That's a hard scenario, I think, for the group, but they've got offices in California and Texas and London, and then they've got remote people that are just kind of sprinkled. And so they've got it built into their culture. So I knew, at least from that perspective, like they're constantly saying, hey, do you feel connected? If and when do you want to fly in and connect with people in person? And they do a lot of that kind of team building, support for budget, for that kind of stuff. I think the harder part for me now is just I'm remote, but then the location I'm in is very rural. And so there's like a Wisconsin group, and I desperately want to connect with them, but they're like a 2-hour drive away. Oof. And then, right. So it's like 2 hours, and you go there for a couple hours and then 2 hours back. So it's a long day. But I'd love to do that. But add in the winter and then you go, is it safe for me to drive there right now? Like maybe I'll wait till the spring. And so, that part of it I think is a little tough, where you are just in the same space, right? Every day you wake up, you don't leave the apartment, it's cold, like, kind of, they've got great beer and cheese here. I would say that's like
the cheese curds will save you.
Right. Like that's
so
keeping me going.
Well,
so that piece of it's working.
And I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you're doing a similar job, but just remote for a different company. It's not like you now are a consultant and you used to not be that. And you
right.
did it. So probably have some good kind of habits around those kind of things already, and not rebuilding all of that plus doing it in a room by yourself.
Right, like still in admin, doing admin work. One of the benefits is that this company is huge on agile development. And that was something as a solo admin, like I never had counterparts to bounce ideas off of. And so they've got, like right now I'm managing an admin and then 3 developers. And so I've got like a team, a squad. And so as a solo admin, like that was just such a huge pull for me of why I wanted to take the opportunity. Although, because it was different. And then you're going to kind of work with other personalities. Like before you were like the end all be all of decision making. And now you've got to like convince people to do stuff the way you want. But I was just begging for that. I didn't have that opportunity somewhere else. So it's working out. I love it.
Yay! I didn't know that you were managing people too. What kind of... I think all of us are accidental admins, sort of, right? What kind of skills do you think it takes to be successful when, we didn't study data modeling and...
I never knew an Excel formula. First of all, I didn't know they existed. Excel was like Word with lines for a long time. So yes, what she said... How did you get there?
Can I get that on a t-shirt too?
Word with lines.
For my endless t-shirts I'm gonna make.
Someone said pivot tables, and I was like, does it turn around like a dance pivot? What do you mean? Does it look pretty? Is it 3D?
My coworkers, part of what made me think about this, my coworker said to me the other day, we were just like talk, and he said something about technical debt, and I was like, the fact that I know what that means. And it is appropriate in the conversation. Like, what is my life? Like, what? So that was kind of my moment. So I was just curious, like, what do you feel like makes you know that this is the right thing that you're doing for you for right now, at least?
I think if you find that you're interested in it, like you're Googling stuff when you don't have to, when you're taking certification courses and you don't have to, or training opportunities you don't have to. One thing that, I heard on, I don't remember how many podcasts ago, but that, Melinda, you're doing the RAD program. So yay. That was something that I took a chance on, and Christy, I know you participated in that program too. It wasn't a requirement of my job. Like I did it for me, obviously my company will see the benefit of it, but I think as long as you, like, I would say anytime you've ever created a formula for the first time or made a flow work, that excited feeling you get, like that tells you you're doing the right thing,
Yeah.
If you want to
Totally.
I always try to tell my husband, and he's like, Salesforce, like what,
Right?
what are you talking about? And he could care less. He goes, is this one of your like dorky things? Like, don't you have a group to talk to about this? And so usually, I'd be like, Christy, like I made this, it works. It's awesome.
Like,
and
like when I
found my people.
When I told people the other day that I met Mike Rosenbaum, and they were like, should I be excited about that? I'm like,
yeah.
Who will be excited? Who can I tell?
Yes. Yeah, I had times at my last job, like I said, you guys don't really get this, but I did a really awesome thing today, and you just need to high-five me. Like,
That's it. Just do it. Just high-five me. That's how it is.
It was hard, and I figured it out.
I told Christy in a last or a few back episodes that I think for me, when I knew I found the path is when I didn't have like the Sunday blues. Mm-hmm. You're like, ugh, like I got to get up. I got to do this thing I don't want to do. I have to put on the happy, whatever it is. So I think that when those go away and you're, maybe not always excited to get up and go to work, but you're not down about it, that's a big deal.
I totally agree. Yeah, it's that like anxiety of, I have another week to spend there. Yeah, if you're, to your point, if you're feeling like either it's the absence of that feeling or you're just super excited to, roll out something new or demonstrate like this cool thing that you built that, no one knew how it was going to work and to be able to show people that I think is, because, a lot of it like is a thankless job, right? Like no one comes into work and says, I logged into Salesforce and stuff worked. Like you rock, it's like they come to you when there's problems, like no one's on that every day. And so, I think it's like you have to motivate yourself and be excited for it. And also not afraid to fail. I mean, there's so many things I keep trying and I'm terrible at it, but I keep plugging away because I want to get there, Yeah. And I'm not gonna get there if I'm not at least trying.
Oh, that's so true. You have to fall down to get better. Well, nobody wakes up one day and is like, I can write Apex. No.
Yeah. I mean, I would love if that happened, right? Like if I just because I'm accident prone, if I fell down and like knocked my head and I got smarter.
You're like, I'm David Liu now.
Yeah, exactly. Like I would love that scenario, but it hasn't happened to me yet. And I've fallen down plenty of times, Christy can tell you.
I always wish that you could osmosize something by like putting a book under your pillow and like letting it soak into your head or something.
Plug it into the back of my skull. I now can fly a helicopter. Or whatever.
That would be awesome. I think one of those things that you inspired me about was, in terms of those like far-reaching things, was presenting at Dreamforce. And also you're presenting at Southeast Streamin'. Yay! So
shameless plug.
And even bigger going to Southeast Streamin'.
That's right. Yeah. Is that your first Streamin'? No.
It's my first Streamin'. Again, setting the bar high. The best first. I mean, I like to keep it, out of 10 all times.
I'll pay you your $20 later. No, I'm just kidding.
You're going to come back from this.
Right?
I mean,
we're going to stop doing this podcast after this. So
mic drop out.
Right? Forget it. Because I guess I still saw Dreamforce as like the other people, quote unquote, right? That like, and then it was like, oh my God, Kelly's presenting at Dreamforce. Like, that's awesome. And it makes it feel that much more doable, right? And you ended up this last year speaking to a room, like a big ass room, So,
oh my gosh. Yeah.
So I guess just tell me a little bit about like how you found a thing to talk about that other people wanted to hear about and got picked and, but just like how that kind of have you always been a public speaker-y kind of person that it was natural or?
No, I mean, I don't know. It's weird. So, you talk about people who are introverted, extroverted. I'm not introverted, but I'm like a lazy extrovert. I don't know. I've got a weird, like, if someone's uncomfortable and I can tell that they, maybe are not comfortable in a situation, like I'm drawn to that person to help them out, to be like, hey, like I totally feel your pain. This is a weird situation, to try to like just walk up to random people and introduce yourself. So I kind of can connect in that way. But if I was in like a room full of people who are all like super excited to meet someone new and they're super extroverted, I might kind of like shy away a little bit. So I don't know where I fall on a spectrum, but it's complicated. It's what my status
is. That's your Facebook status.
Yeah. Right. So, I mean, part of that, I think presenting so often at the user group meeting, you kind of get over, like there were definitely times where I was nervous or it's a topic that I didn't feel like I knew like the back of my hand. And I thought, like, how am I going to get in front of a room of people and talk about this if I'm not an expert? Like, aren't they going to be like, why are you up here? You don't know what you're talking about. And so you kind of get over that and you go, hey, this is a conversation, right? This is like a forum for like, we're all in the same playing field. We all have stuff we can learn from one another. I think in terms of presenting at Dreamforce, so I had a good opportunity to be on a panel a few years before, this last one. Mm-hmm. And so it was a smaller group, but it kind of, like you said, like it made it tangible, right? Like there were people that I was friends with that were presenting. And so then you go, well, hey, if they can do that, like, why can't I take a shot and try, right? And so, yeah, you just go for it. I mean, I think what was funny about this year, though, because you kind of presented it like I'm super confident, but leading up to Dreamforce, this was, applying by myself, not knowing if I would get selected. And then you go, okay, wow, this is all down to me. And so I kept checking like every day. I mean, I can talk about it now, but at the time I wouldn't. I'd be like, I don't care. Every day I was logging in as another user, like on one of my accounts, and going back, and I was like, the room's not full. The room's not full. And people are like tweeting about they're hitting their max, and they're super like, pumped. And I'm going, what if I get up there and like there's nobody there or 10 people there, right? And so it turned out it was because the room max was 1,200, and I had 800 and I don't remember now, 40 registered.
My goodness.
It was crazy. I would say, as someone who, like, now I've just like acted like I'm super comfortable presenting. In that moment, I did have this, like, I don't know, probably as close to a panic attack you could have if you don't have panic attacks. Like, I was like going, can I do this? And oh my gosh, like, what if something, because they're miking you up and it feels very official and there's spotlights on you and, camera crew in the back, and it was very surreal. But then I had this moment of, like, I still remember one of the first Dreamforce sessions I ever went to, and it was a Steve Mo one on formulas.
Me too!
Yes!
Oh, yes! And he just made it so funny, so relatable. Like, there were things that I learned from that where I said, I'm going to go start building formulas, and I can do this. Like, this is, like, I can handle, like, what he's walking through.
It was like a case formula about food?
Yes! Oh my God, we were in the same session, didn't even know it.
Formula ninjas!
Yes, and that's what got me started, where I thought, like, I can do this too. Like, why can't I, right? And so I did, right when the camera started rolling, I had to, like, kind of, like, introduce myself. I had a moment where I said, wow, like, like your mouth can be speaking words, but your brain is thinking something totally unrelated. And so I had that moment, and I was introducing myself, giving my background, and I thought, if I just stop talking right now or fall down or forget what I'm going to say, like, it's over. Like, it's all on me. And so, and this probably only took like a second to think through, but it felt like a long time. Mm-hmm. And then I went, whoa, get it together, girl. Like, people have gotten up. This is early. Like, you can do this. And so I whipped myself back into it. And I don't know, like, once you get started and you make some jokes, vibe with the group, like, they start laughing, like, you feel like they're your friends. And I saw some people. Right. And I saw some people that I knew, and I didn't even know they were coming to my session. Like, I actually didn't really, I kind of promoted it, but like didn't super promote it because I was, you're kind of like, you want people to come, but if you're bad, you don't want them to know. Like, it's,
I mean, they were recording it.
We do that at the podcast. Like, should we promote more? I mean, I don't know. What if people don't like it?
It's that self-doubt, like you want, because you want it to be good and you want it to be relatable. But Lauren Jordan, she was in a session right before mine, and I saw her and she gave me a pep talk and a hug, and that, like, got me back to a place where I thought, all right, I can do this. And so, I think we need to, like, just be honest, right? And let people help lift us up when we're, like, having that moment of panic. So yeah, now I'm going 300, 400, I can do that,
As someone that has never spoken at Dreamforce, I love the sessions, but I am more inclined to pay attention, check notes or check the chatter for the notes of colleagues or peers. So, knowing that you are an accidental admin, as a lot of us are, I would come and be like, oh yes, I can relate to her. That's me. Mm-hmm. And of course, other keynotes or other sessions, but if someone's way far above my expertise or someone I don't know, it doesn't sink in as much. So, I'm glad you got your pep talk and you did it, because I'm sure that I probably sat in your session, or people like me were like, yes, I can be her. I can do this.
Well, and you know what oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and if you had tripped and fallen, then they were filming it. So we would have made a gif out of it.
I was going to say, then
celebrated it forever.
All about it. And listen, I'm not like, I carry no ego, so I probably would have made that into a shirt too. I mean, I just have to, you got to own it, right? Like, as much as I was nervous, at the same time, I thought, like, if I mess up, like, we're all human and it happens and who cares? But, Melinda, like you said something right there that, having it be relatable and sometimes you feel like the content is over your head. Like, I feel like that a lot of times, especially with the developer stuff. But even with Steve Mo's session, like, I signed up for that on a whim. Like, I didn't know who he was yet. And I thought, gosh, formulas are too advanced for me, but I might as well. I've got time. And, I got there, and just hearing his story and how he presented it and just in a fun, relatable way, I went, gosh, like, I can do this. I can try this. And so, I tell people, sign up for stuff even if you think it's way over your head. I will say, though, I'm in this Trailhead X something pilot right now, and it's developer
DX.
Developer X.
Trailhead
yes.
DX?
No, not Trailhead.
No,
Salesforce
it's just
X.
yes.
Or Developer X, something.
DX.
Basically, I don't even know the name of it because I went to the intro and I went, I have no idea what you guys are talking about, and I need to back out of this pilot.
Yeah, I have another friend in it who is my previously mentioned developer nerd counterpart from 3D Systems, who also is in it and is feeling overwhelmed. So it's
they let me in by accident. Like, I don't know what I filled out on that survey, but I shouldn't be in there. So, but hey, I didn't know until I tried. So
no, but you're right. Trying all the things. Do all the things. This last Dreamforce, I finally pulled the trigger and went to Apex for admins. And I've said before, slide 3 in, I was like, what? Right. But I will say, because of things like that, my rad class is a little bit easier. It's not great. I'm struggling already. But things that I'm like, oh, okay, yes. Yes, I heard about that. Yes, I heard about containers. Yes, I heard about classes. Like, the more you hear about it, the more it gets in. Am I going to be able to write, Apex and triggers at the end of this 10 weeks? Probably not. But being able to recognize them and get there, absolutely. You have to, like, put yourself out there and do the things. Like, if Dreamforce, you pick 7 things pick 3 you don't. You'll be surprised.
Yeah. Well, and I
totally agree.
That can be an interesting way to develop content, too. So, for example, I'm trying to think of something to start submitting to probably Midwest Dreamin' and maybe Dreamforce. And it's what do I know that I can help other people learn, or what do I want to learn that I'm going to dig into a bunch that I can then become a resource, like lightning pages or something lightning-y, right? Like that I need to learn anyway, and like that it'll help me dig into it and keep learning about it so I can keep talking about it, so that I'm not on the... But I also, back to what you said about presenting user groups, I also have to remember, like, no one's going to heckle you. And there's nothing wrong, or maybe they are.
Unless I'm in the audience, but yeah.
Right?
If they're heckling, they love you. In the
truth,
Touche. I would never heckle someone I don't love and adore. So.
But, right?
I mean...
You're just a jerk.
We were throwing those questions at Jillian Medill at Tahoe, but she handled it like a champ. That was not heckling, but like she told us we could ask her questions, so we did, But I do feel like there's nothing wrong with saying I don't know either, right?
Yeah.
I think that's an interesting perception some people have about MVPs, right? Like, oh, you're an MVP, so bleh, word vomit of something, and I'm like, nope, like I do not know about that, maybe, but either I can find out. Or, because I can Google just as well as you can, or I got a guy, right? Or a girl, or, somebody that probably knows somebody or knows about that thing or started that app or whatever, So it's the connected community piece as opposed to the requirement to be omniscient, I guess.
And I was totally reminded of something when you were just describing that. Speaking of MVPs, I would be remiss if I did not congratulate Melinda on being a new MVP.
Thank you. I'm still grinning from ear to ear. I'm so
as well you should.
I'm just stupid excited about it.
I was like, prepare for the Twitter, just a day of Twitter.
Yeah, she said, well, and what's funny is, Holly always tweets out something ambiguous or vague. and she kind of tweeted something. And I kind of thought maybe the announcements would come last week, but I don't remember what I was doing something. And I kind of forgot and wasn't paying attention. And I was on my laptop watching Netflix with my husband, and I flipped back to my email, and all I saw was Holly in the subject line, congratulations. And literally the stomach did the flip. Like you said, like with this, like you were waiting for us to call you. I was like, your long lost friend or long lost love or someone, emailed you. And I was like, oh my God, is this really happening? And I cried and smiled. So that's my hashtag, the cryling, because I was crying and smiling. And my husband was like so proud of me, and he got up and, poured us a glass of wine. And I was like stunned for a minute because she emailed so late. It was like 8 or 9. So I'm like, wait, what? So thank you. I'm excited to be part of the group and continue to give back to the community and, hashtag Ohana. And I love y'all so much.
Well, we are super excited to have you. And I meant to say that when I first got on here, and I got sidetracked by all the things. So
yeah, I interrupted Christy. She was trying to do the intro, and I was like, "Oh no, let's talk about me."
Yes, surprise. I feel like we could just sit here giggling and being so excited about each other all day. I love it so much. But
you're in a beach house.
I am.
Oh, true. Wait,
it's dark outside.
About that.
No, it's cool. No one's here yet. It's just me and my microphone, and there's no dogs here to warm my feet up.
I'm crying for you with my 10 feet of snow outside. At your beach house, you're forced to get in with your sunburn and all your other problems. Yeah. Gosh, your life is rough. I mean, I don't know how you're gonna make it through this week.
I mean, just dream about coming to Atlanta later this month.
I really am. I mean, I cannot tell you how fast I booked that flight. Like I my bag is almost packed. I mean, I've got Destination Success next week, and so at least that's Vegas and 70-something degrees. So yeah, I'm super excited. I'd be at the airport now if they wouldn't call the authorities and be like, this lady's just chilling, waiting for her flight.
Are you gonna go for that guitar full of beverage?
Okay, so funny story. I've been to Vegas a few times now, and I told Christy this story. They have a guitar. It's plastic.
Yep, it holds 10 beers.
Big straw. Yes. And so I've wanted it so badly. And so Christy was like,
Melinda threw it away when she was moving.
What?
We don't need this.
I'm kidding.
This is how much I have shiny object syndrome. I didn't buy it there because I said this is ridiculous and I can't consume this much alcohol and function as a human being and survive. If it had been filled with champagne, I would have tried my best. But, some crazy mixed drink, right? I get home and Christy's like, girl, just buy it. I went online and not only did I buy one, I bought another one for my husband.
Because who wants to drink alone?
Well, I had this idea. It came in red and blue. And I went, his and hers. It could be a great Halloween costume something. It's still in a container. Haven't used it yet. I've had it now since last year.
Put some champagne in it. Get it done.
I know.
I'm just kidding.
I know.
New Orleans,
I know.
2010, around Mardi Gras time. Out there with friends and my husband and drinking, having a good old time. I have a picture. If I can figure out how to tag it in the show notes, I will. Run to some guy with Mardi Gras beads that are fist size. And we're laughing because he's telling his friends where, you're kind of half listening. He has one of those guitars, which we ask later, how many beers does it hold? Because his friend's I think you've had enough. And this is what we do now. He says, I've only had one guitar of beer. And I was like, new measurement. That's how I'm tracking beer.
Yes.
I've only had one guitar of beer.
Yes. So, I'm literally writing it down. I'm using that.
So if someone's like, how many have you had? You say, I've only had one guitar of beer. Don't judge me.
Yeah.
Or one guitar of champagne.
Yeah. I can handle my champs.
Who needs
the beer? I'm not sure, but
who needs a Magnum when you can have a
guitar of
it? So we know you're a champ. We've talked about the wonderful good things that you've done in life, but we would be remiss if we didn't ask you about your biggest Salesforce screw up.
Oh God. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There's been many. No.
None of us are immune.
I mean, every admin goes through it, right? I think like my biggest one is probably the one that annoys me the most is when I used Process Builder the first time. And so I had all of these workflows and I was like, I'm going to get rid of this clutter and I'm going to make this better and blah, 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 blah. So I build out this massive Process Builder. And that was back when like, I mean, you know, it takes a while to load. And so I had problems like trying to edit it and it kept crashing.
And I'm sure you did it in production.
Obviously,
right. As one does.
That what I actually did do in Sandbox. So like I was halfway there, but what would happen was all of my testing I did based on like new values, and so I go, oh sweet, I'm like the best, and so I deploy it, like high-fiving myself, right? Yep. I'm like, I'm awesome, and not more than like 10 minutes later, I started getting all these like, a flow has triggered to run. Like
the just horribly ambiguous email that doesn't help you with anything at all. Yes, I know.
So what had happened was I built out this whole awesome thing related to our industry segments, and I forgot to add in a parameter that it didn't already equal that value on each step of the process builder. And so it was like if things were like needing to be updated, it would work. But if it had already updated and someone went to, I don't know, create an opportunity off that account, why would they ever need to do that, right? Update a contact off of that account. Again, why would they ever need to do that? It started causing all those problems. And so that was one of those, it was a mix of like, oh, how can I be so dumb? And, oh, how can a process builder be so annoying? Because that stuff doesn't like happen with workflow.
Yeah, it is interesting about how your like preconceived past notion carries over, like, and how like you didn't have to account for the negative choice. It just didn't do it. Like if it wasn't there. And so, you know, for the accidental admin that's only had workflow, like I'm not building triggers where I have to account for both things, you know, or like, so even with formulas, like you can do some ifs, you know, but you didn't have to with workflow. So yeah, I totally still face the same thing. Like, come on, what do you mean you don't have value?
It was horrible. And then it made me wonder, like, for all those workflows, like, was it trying to do stuff and not kick off, but it just didn't, it wouldn't give you an alert? So were you taxing your system because your logic wasn't like completely tight? Or is it just completely different and you know, process builder will have it happen? Like, I don't know the answer to that. All I know is lock your stuff
Where's
down.
Mary Scotton? Somebody tell me the answer.
Right. Like Bonnie, like somebody throw me a lifeline. But basically now every time I do one, I go, okay, like evaluate and make sure this field isn't null. Like make sure there's a value before, you know, make sure whatever I'm flipping it to isn't already there. And so it's all those little pieces that, I mean, that was my biggest epic failure because just the sheer scale of like what it kicked off. And then, actually, no, there's two. Another one.
Oh, wow. You're really just going for it.
So I have another hot mess of a disaster that I kicked off back in my earlier admin days. I was new to an org and I was trying to like update information and I thought, gosh, I'm amazing. And I was doing it in production. Like I pulled a list, I was getting ready to use data loader and I'm like high-fiving myself again, you know, I'm like, this is going to be so awesome. And so I forgot to check like if any email alerts were set up in our org. And so I basically kicked off, I mean, I don't even remember the full count, like 400 emails to our top management in the entire company based on these updates that I did. Nice. And so I had data loader running and I thought, oh, this is great. I'm like, I'm getting all this stuff done. It's like the end of the day. And then all of a sudden in my inbox, like I see like a couple things come in, but then it was one of those where like your inbox flips out and then it just drops because it loaded like, you know, 100
as well as your face
emails.
Drops. Like, what?
It was horrible. My phone started ringing before I could even realize what was happening. And then I went, oh, my bad. And I had to get IT involved. They had to like just pull them from the, it was horrible. Valuable lesson learned. Never made that mistake again.
Sometimes that's how you figure things out, I guess.
So now for anyone who's listening to me on the advice I give, please don't judge me by those like examples. I've grown in skill and knowledge since then.
Please still hire me when I need my next job. Okay, thanks, bye.
Right, exactly.
Well, yeah, I think you some of the things you discover, that's actually interesting because we're working on a project and he was like, why can't you just do this in a day? Like, why do we need to? And we were kind of like, because I don't know what I don't know yet. It's all well and good to say that this is what's going to happen, but when I get in there, maybe I haven't done this before, right? So maybe I need to change the setting, or like we want to do some testing so that we don't. And then it was interesting because he's like, well, can't you just do that in a day? And then we saw on an email alert an old company name. And it's like, oh, well, I would not have thought to check the automated email alert footer, so.
Yeah, right.
So some of that stuff you kind of find as you go. So sometimes you do need to get in a sandbox and kick it around and break it a little bit to learn.
And send 40,000 emails.
Yeah, sometimes you learn 400 at a time. I mean,
build broken processes that email you, and then you can't figure out what the email means.
Hey, at least that one, it was only to me, but
because you use the 15-character ID instead of the 18-character ID.
Yep. Don't even get me started on that.
That's for enough. I love how we're all like, but so tongue in cheek though, like, but we love it anyway. All these things. Like, I get, it's like your kids, like you complain about, or your husbands, I guess too. Like you complain about things, but then, really, in the end, we keep.
Well, I mean,
back.
Who's going to put up with our shit, really?
I think that's what we need
Salesforce
is like
and husband.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if this probably would never get past it like a Dreamforce, but literally just what have you ever done that was just the biggest cluster, like what was just the worst thing? And like just like share stories and people know like it happens to all of us and you do learn from it, but at least you can kind of laugh at it. I can laugh at it now. I mean, at the time I wasn't laughing.
Your biggest mistakes is something you will never do again. Never. Never, never, ever.
Maybe if you want to talk about it, send us a message on Twitter and it's not come on the podcast. Shameless plug. I like it.
Right? Yes. # biggest screw up.
There you go. Why not?
I like
Own it.
Submit your stories now.
And 140 characters.
I was going to say, you should announce that in your...
That's true.
Announce that in your Sunday voice there.
Sunday. Your biggest screw up. 140 characters or less. Don't forget to hashtag biggest screw up at Do It Podcast.
That was fantastic.
Thanks.
So now I need t-shirts. And I need Melinda to record my outgoing message on like every phone I'll ever have till the end of time.
I can also
Kelly.
Yeah. This is Kelly. Thank you. You've reached my voicemail.
You can be movie phone guy. You've got multiple personalities. I like it.
I do. Well, I'm glad you guys do. It seems to wig out my husband a little, but whatevs.
He keeps coming back. I don't know.
Right? He keeps coming back for more.
Well, I'm so excited that we were your first podcast. You don't get that many firsts in life anymore,
That's true.
when you're an adult.
So true.
And thanks for listening to us and saying
saying
nice things about us.
You guys keep me sane, especially I was listening to you guys obviously before, I moved to the middle of nowhere, but now it's like my lifeline, I'm like, those are people I know. Those are my peeps. So it helps me feel connected.
What are the best ways for people to stalk you on the internet?
At Kelly Bentubo, Twitter. And
that was a creepy way to say that, by the way.
I know, right? Wait, yeah. Let's not broadcast it like stalking. If you want to connect with me in a Salesforce-related professional manner, or if you want to do karaoke at Dreamforce,
yes,
those are the only two reasons. Other than that, I don't want your like, hey, how are you? Like creeper, ... Like, this is a total segue, but I did get a LinkedIn request one time and I accepted. And then the person messaged me and it just says, hi. And I was like, what? I don't know what to do with that. And so I was just like, delete, like unfriend, like block. It was so weird. So yeah, no creepers.
But what if they said, let's go karaoke? Then you'd be in it.
Then I'd take a chance and I'd have to text a friend like, this person who's coming here. Make sure I make it home.
Please make sure I don't die at karaoke.
Yeah.
Well, I hope that we steal wine together again soon. And
Christy, I don't know what you're talking about. That sounds like a farce. That sounds like somebody
permanently borrowed.
Somebody else who has no morals would be involved with. So I don't know who you're talking about.
There's no pictures on the internet of that. You stop it. You stop it. Okay, sorry. I don't mean to be so inside jokey, but that happened.
We borrowed wine.
We didn't give it back, so
we borrowed it. Let's stick with
we saved ourselves multiple trips to the bar, so we optimized a process is what we did.
Right. That was already paid for. That's the critical.
Oh, well, yeah. This was at an event. Piece. This was not at like a bar. No.
It wasn't real stealing.
We didn't get
arrested. Stealing adjacent. It's a thing, right?
It is now. It is
Kelly,
now.
We adore you.
I adore
Thank
both
you for
of you.
playing with us.
Thank you for having me, ladies.
Have fun in the cold north.
Call
me anytime. The tundra. It's going to be amazing. You have cheese curds. I'm not even going to lie. That sounds amazing.
And really good beer. So I'm just excited to see you guys at Southeast Dreamin', hang out in warm weather, all my peoples. It will be fun.
All right, I'll send you your $30 now for that third mention. That was so much fun. Obviously, you can tell Kelly Bentubo is one of my favorite Salesforce humans.
Yes.
Thank you so much to her for joining us. I think some of the great things that I took away are especially the idea of being on the lookout for opportunities. You know, we talked about going to the user group. It maybe wasn't what you thought, or maybe even your job isn't, not personally, but isn't what you think, right? And so trying again and, you know, seeking out opportunities, even if it's something that maybe you have to do for yourself, right? Again, like I love the idea that like no one comes in for the day and is like, oh, I logged into Salesforce today, yay! Like it's just
right.
kind of assumed that that's your job. So finding a way to make sure you stay motivated and are able to give back in the ways that you want or the ideas that you have is really key for us.
I truly feel like the three of us could have talked probably for another hour just about everything and nothing. And she's a fellow crafter. So now I have two crafters in my life to look up to. Because sometimes I get on Pinterest and I mean, at least you guys buy the stuff and try and do things. I am like, oh my gosh, it looks amazing and hard. Never mind. I don't want to.
Who can I pay to do that for me?
Right. I bet I could buy that on Etsy.
Right? Somebody's making a living out of making that. So
even though she's obviously, in my world, super amazing, I feel like she's incredibly approachable and has such great advice for life and Salesforce careers. So I'm just very, very happy she got to spend the time with us.
And I mean, she pretty much loves us. So I feel like my head like won't fit out the door now that she's like telling us we're the best. So
that's very sweet.
You don't have to do that to be a guest for future reference. I mean, of course we appreciate it, but no, I'm just kidding. So Kelly, you did an awesome thing today. High five for you.
High five.
High five. So let's talk about some of our favorite things aside from Kelly Bentubo that are going on in life.
She'd be my app. I need a Kelly Bentubo app that just says, "You're amazing. Give yourself a high five."
Just randomly.
Yeah.
You're the best. What do you got? What else is going on in your favorite life?
So I'm going to go down the tech alley again today. Okay. So piece one is, I'm with Blue Wolf now, and big old company purchased by IBM. So I have access to Partner Portal and all of these fun and amazing online training. And they have an internal Prime program where you earn points within the company for having certifications, and I'm learning what else it does. And that it goes towards this yearly trip that they give out. And last year they gave a trip to Croatia for you at +1. So that's awesome. But really, I'm really happy about their online training. So I'm going to go for my Sales Cloud certification and then Service Cloud. And they have so much access. They have in-house people that will do a training, or they have recorded stuff or Quizlet things they put together. So I feel like I am happily swimming in like of great information, because as you know, if you Google like Sales Cloud certification, some of the information can be inconsistent or old, and the tests are on newer stuff. So I'm super giddy about having all of this information to go and study.
Ooh, and you have like, and I guess if you train the class, then you know how to train yourselves to pass the certification.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So I'm loving it.
You got it in.
I'm loving it.
I like it. One thing that I have discovered recently that I thought was fun is this game called Cube. It is Kubb, which you think is cube, but it's not.
Cub.
Or cub. Gooby. So it's basically, it's kind of hard to describe. It's, what does they call it? Not lightning chess. Why do I have lightning in my head? You have these blocks that you stand up. This is a game you play outside, kind of like a cornhole setup, except you have a line of cubes, and you throw a dowel at them to try and knock them over. The ones that you knock over, you then throw to the other person's side, so they're like barriers to them getting to your back line of cubes. And if they miss them, then you get to get closer. So it's fun. It's just it was a great game that I really liked because there was multiple ways that the game could change. So a lot of games, when you're like counting up and down or, earning points, losing points, that there's not really a back and forth. But our first game went on for like 2 hours, and it was like, oh, we're going to win. Oh no, we're going to lose. Like, you missed that one thing and it changes the trajectory of the game. So I'll put a link to it in the show notes. It's called Cube. There's like an international competition for this. Like, it's a thing.
I know that I was trying to search for the app on my phone until you told me it was like an IRL game. I was like, what? It's real humans in real life?
We went outside.
What?
In the grass.
This doesn't make any sense to me.
You can play in the snow. You can play in the sand. So yeah, it was super fun. A friend of ours from the West Coast bought it for us like a while ago, and then we never played, because that's what happens when people give you games and then they don't live there. Oh, there's an app. Oh my gosh. There's probably an app to teach you.
I'm sorry I wasn't trying to make it technical.
Something, but it can be. There's an app for everything, Melinda. But use the
There's
app
no Bentubo app. I don't have a Bentubo app.
to learn how to play, and then go outside in the sun or cold. Go outside in the world and play some Cube. But don't get better than me, because then I'll lose and be sad. Just kidding.
Yeah, no, there's no beating you. All right, so my other super fave is more parent driven. I actually don't even know what schools do it. It looks like a generic, any school can use it app. It's called Tadpoles. Mm-hmm. But the school that Olive is at uses it, and they will send like a photo periodically throughout the day. And then I get a daily report on what she ate, how long she napped, what they did in every subject, and more pictures. So ooh. I not only have it, I put it on both grandma's phones and my husband's phone. So every day it's just, it's so much better to have a conversation, because if you ask a 4.5-year-old, what'd you do today? Nothing. I don't know.
They'll tell you like an hour-long story about a butterfly.
Yeah, or nothing. So then I can ask her, I saw your drawing of the sun today. I saw your drawing of the snowflake. So I love it. It's really great to feel involved. Because, your kid goes somewhere else for like 8 hours, and I'm like, well, hope she's okay. Bye.
That's interesting. So do you feel like, is there like a tadpole manager that is like taking and sending pictures throughout the day? Or like, I wonder about the technology on their end.
Yeah, if you look at it, it's definitely not driven by this school, because it has no branding on it at all. I don't think so. And I get the closeout report after we pick her up. So I don't know if there's any automation connected to when I check her out, because I have to check her out automatically with a special code and hit checkout. So it would seem like it, but periodically the teacher has to put something in throughout the day. So right. I'm not sure if how much it's pre-filled. It can't all be, because it tells me how long she naps, like to the minute, and what they ate. So I'm not sure. And I think I love it, but then there's the other part of me that's like, man, is that a pain in the ass for the teacher? Like I have to do this for 12 kids.
I wonder if there's like facial recognition or something like.
You know the other cool thing?
I wonder how high tech this really
the photos.
gets. Okay.
What? Maybe I'll find that out for you. The other thing is when you have the pictures in there too, you can click the little download, but if there's other children in the photo, it won't let you for privacy reasons, which I think is pretty cool. Like, granted, I can take a screenshot, but I'm not trying to make this weird.
Creeper.
Right. But I thought that was nice. It's a nice feature for, I guess, any human that doesn't have to take a screenshot of the phone, but whatever.
Oh, that's fun. It gives you the illusion of security at least. Look at that. Taking childcare high tech. I think that's lovely.
I like it. So that's my little parenting shout out.
I am not a parent, so I go on random girls' road trips, which is me segueing into saying I had a lot of driving time, which I don't have usually. And I caught up on Good Day Sir podcast, which is lovely. Their episodes are just too long for my commute. But I also listened to Technology Flows, which you may not have heard of, not quite as many episodes, but is the lovely Matt Morris and his, to me, wonderful English accent hosting. And it was great to hear. He did one with Peter Coffey that I listened to, and just another perspective, but different perspective, different people than I would typically talk to, right? I, work with mostly people in the States, and so just trying to stay involved with things other people have going on. So I was excited to have a long drive and catch up on some podcasts. So shout out to those guys for being awesome.
This is awesome. I love that you are exposing me to new podcasts. I have no commute anymore, so I struggle to keep up now. But so now it'll take me a little bit longer to listen to episodes, but I try and shove them in whenever I'm in the car for like 10 minutes. I like to try and listen on like 2 times. So I'm like, how many can I get in this 15-minute drive?
Yeah, because I think we've talked about, I'm not really like a listen while I clean or listen while I mow the lawn or listen all those other times we should be telling people to listen to us. Mostly it's driving for me.
Yeah, driving, I can't do it while I'm working. I can't focus then. I won't listen. I could do it while cleaning or something, but that would imply that I clean often.
Well, touche. Although, I do have another little sneak attack super fave. So one other thing I learned about, in thinking about things I can't do two at once, like speak right now, I can't listen. I don't like listening to music because then I get distracted and want to sing or something else, like while I'm working, typing. And so there's something called the Jingle Punks Hipster Orchestra Radio. The Jingle Punks Hipster Orchestra Radio.
That's like a mishmash of words. Those aren't real
Pandora. It sounds kind of Christmassy, but it's popular songs that are in quartets or whatever, or other instruments, but no words. But it's like, so it's not official words versions of songs. It's like remakes of songs.
Hipster elevator music?
I don't know why it has the word hipster in it. I don't think it's very hipster. There's like Adele and I don't know, but it's like these bands that are playing strings or other fun piano instruments, but it's like beats that so you can still kind of like you're in it. It's not like classical that kind of puts me to sleep too much when I'm trying to work. So that was a somewhat random and inarticulate Pandora pump up.
Here, let me validate you
for what I'm currently listening to.
That Amy, shout out Salesforce Amy, sent me this link. I don't even remember where she got it, but it was talking about this particular song that is like the best to reduce blood pressure, lower levels of stress, hormone. And they have versions that are up to like 6 hours that's all melodic. And it's called Weightless. The song is called Weightless. Marconi Union, I believe am I pronouncing that right? The artist. And yeah, when I feel like I need to zone out or I need to work on something and I can't listen to, like you said, music with words, I try and listen to that. Okay. And I pulled it up on Spotify before, and it has like mutual similar songs. So I like that.
When I'm trying to work hard. Train. Maybe we'll have to talk about that sometime. See if you want to try and convert me to your Spotify.
I don't know.
No. Ooh,
I mean,
maybe not.
there's really only reason I still keep it is because I have a playlist called Disney Shit for my daughter that are all like albums from all of the movies. And it's literally called Disney Shit. And I'll have to change that one day because
She'll know
she's
what that
going to be able to read it. But yeah, it's okay. I don't pay for the pay list, or I'm sorry, the commercial list version.
Oh.
So sometimes I like it, but then I'm annoyed because if you have it on your phone, it won't let you skip too many times if you don't pay. And but on your computer, I love it because you can skip around and do whatever you want. But the mobile is meh. But I usually use it for the car.
You can listen to I want to listen to this song by this person and listen to it.
Yes.
You can't do that on Pandora, so that's maybe an advantage.
It doesn't do. Now it has really cool daily browse albums, which I do love. I feel like it shows me new stuff for different genres. So I do really like it. But I miss when Pandora being like, ugh, I'm kind of in the mood for Sandstorm by Darude, 90s shout out, or early 2000s.
As one is.
Right. And it'll give you mutual things like that. So that you don't really get too much. But
I love that I said we should talk about this argument sometime, and then that time was now.
And I'm done, actually.
Oh, well, good. That's the entire argument. I'm committed to Pandora mainly because of Hip Hop Barbecue and now the jingle punk hipsters. So maybe I don't need to switch, and everyone else can just take their Spotify and Spotify it.
Yeah, you can do both. Who says you have to be mutually exclusive to any?
Listen, I have enough apps. I have enough things happening that are slowing down my computer. I have enough tabs open. I don't need more things.
Okay? All right.
But thank you for encouraging me to broaden my horizons.
Do not limit yourself.
There you go.
All right, I think this is like a 7-hour episode. Maybe we should just like kind of wrap it up and release people from our
don't
bonds.
Limit yourself. But in case people don't have 4-hour commutes, then
right.
We will talk to you next time and stay witty.
Bye-bye.